Okay, it's Friday, October 24th, and we are just getting ready to pull up, anchor, and leave this beautiful Lick Creek. This was a really good anchorage because it was big and shallow for us and very quiet. And then I guess if we needed help, there's plenty of people nearby, and they offered to help us last night even though we didn't need anything. They're very kind.
Alright, Allison's got her little sewing machine out. Now, handheld sewing machine. Allison's quilting. She's sewn this quilt. She's got her portable sewing machine. She's set up everything on the counter. She's got her iron over here. She's working away. We've been traveling the last several days down Kentucky Lake, which goes from Kentucky into Tennessee. The lake on the left on this map, it's very long, and essentially is just a wide part of the Tennessee River. Watch with us as we travel down the Tennessee River again today, and watch the scenery change from forests with changing leaves to neighborhoods, to cliffs, and to sandbars. Many of the houses and structures are built on stilts to accommodate for the fluctuating river levels. The scenery was really breathtaking much of the day. The Tennessee River is just absolutely beautiful. I've heard some loopers complain about the river system, and I think it's really those who like marinas near towns where there's a lot of nightlife. But for those of us who love nature, these rivers are really beautiful and relaxing. These RV pads they build with the RV pads and hookups, and then the shelter, shade shelter. They got their own docks, and they even have lawns up there. I can see them mowing. And they got their place to park their RV as their cabin when they come down here with full hookups. I always wanted to do that in Utah. Here we are arriving at the Clifton Marina in Clifton, Tennessee. Go in there and see what kind of slips they have. This is actually the very first time we have ever been turned away from a marina. Usually marinas will find a spot for a boat, like at the restaurant dock or at the fuel dock late in the day. But this is a very small marina, and they had already promised 3 other boats there extra fuel dock spots, and it was no problem. We know that there are anchorages about, and we just moved on to an anchorage. Since we had anchored the last 2 nights, Allison was looking forward to getting off the boat, so we thought we'd try to get a slip. Just past Clifton, Tennessee, and heading south to our anchorage. Okay, we made it to an anchorage called Swallow Island Anchorage. We anchored here in about 12 to 14 feet of water. We're hoping that we hold here. There is current and wind going different directions. The leaves are starting to change here, but not yet cold, thank goodness. But it is cool in the mornings. Okay, it is time for us to pull up anchor here in this Swallow Bluff Island anchorage. Head down to Pickwick Lake, Pickwick Landing State Park. Now we held pretty good here. Surprisingly, we didn't hardly move. Well, we dragged for a while and then it stopped dragging. So we were able to go to sleep. All right. As she pulls it up, she sprays off the line and the chain so we don't get an anchor locker full of mud. We're in Savannah, Tennessee, and there's a cruise ship here on the lower end of the lake. Apparently you can take a cruise ship around. American Symphony is the name of the boat. So when it's cooler outside, this is kind of my view. It was a little cool this morning. It's warmed up now, so I think I'm going to go upstairs and onto the flybridge helm. But this is pretty much my view. I sit here and watch the nav charts and the helm and make sure we stay in the center of the river. Watch for logs and sticks and rocks and enjoy the scenery. Today we are traveling about 37 nautical miles to Pickwick Lake and Pickwick Landing State Park. This is Shiloh National Battlefield. Apparently 100,000 soldiers faced each other in the Civil War with over 23,000 casualties. Quite a battle. They say it was more casualties. You can see some headstones up there. More casualties than all previous wars combined for the United States in this one battle. The Tennessee River actually runs north, which is unusual, and it's a little confusing in your head. When you're heading south, you think you're going down river, as in many rivers, but you're not. You're actually going upstream. We noted about 1.5 knots current in most of the Tennessee River, but the last 10 miles before the Pickwick Dam was about 3 knots. Up here is Shiloh National Battlefield, the military park. Hopefully we can get in there and see it when we get anchored or docked. This footage will give you an idea of kind of what our day is like on the rivers. launch ramp. Goes all the way up there. No, thank you. This is the Pickwick Lock and Dam. It is the end of the Kentucky Lake where the Tennessee River is dammed up, and on the other side is Pickwick Lake. Alright, we're in the Pickwick Lock, but we're not moving yet because there's about 8 more loop boats just up the down the river a little bit that are making their way up here, and they want to wait and lock us all through at once. Right now there's, looks like 3, 6, 8 of us in here, and I think there's 8 more coming. Big lock. There goes the door.
No,
there
I want to make the things that you hang on the wall.
1, 2,
They're
4,
quilted wall
6,
hangings.
8, 10.
I want the wall
13, 14, 15, 16,
see the picture? It has like
17
kind of
boats
vibe.
in the lot. It's a lot of loop boats in here right now. We're all leaving. Some nice houses up here on the hill. I don't know if you can see those, but some big ones on Pickwick Lake here. This is Pickwick Lake, and the state park's right over here. We're gonna go over there just as we get around these shallows. Okay, we made it into Pickwick Landing State Park. This is a really nice setting here. It's right by Shiloh, so we're arranging a tour of Shiloh National Battlefield. And tonight we're going to go on a hayride with a spooky book tour hayride. The state park put on a family-friendly hayride, and we roasted s'mores on a fire, and we walked through the forest with some decorations they had set up for the kids for Halloween.
Hey, wait, I know a dad joke. This punk man telling dad jokes.
We woke up to some more fall colors today, which was nice. Well, here we are in Pickwick Landing State Park on a Sunday morning. We couldn't find any ride to the nearest ward, which is about 20 miles away. There's no Uber here in Pickwick, Tennessee, because the Uber driver's in the hospital. He got in a car wreck. So we're stuck. Also, this doesn't happen very often where it rains on us and keeps us from doing anything. So we're not going to let it start today. We're going to go on a tour of Shiloh National Battlefield Historic Site with a tour guide. Before our afternoon tour, we did some chores. Okay, we're going to unfold our hide-a-bed for the first time. I figured out why this table folds up like that, so you can push it out of the way without having to put it outside in the weather. Anyway, we're going to unfold this the first time, and it looks like a handle. Okay, cool. It's super cool how these cushions fold underneath and stay on. You don't have to take the cushions from anywhere. Well, that's a nice, big, comfy bed. Nice. Now I know where we can watch movies. Alright, since we have a rainy day, doing some builds check and engine check. As you can see, this engine bay is immaculate. Nice K&N filter. I will check the transmission fluid right down here.
I always check the shaft seal. Totally dry bilge as usual. Everything looks good. Coolant levels good back there. And I will check the oil under here. Check the diesel fuel filter, Raycor, and including the sea strainer, sea cocks. Exercise them. Everything looks good in here as usual.
We then took a 3-hour guided tour of the Shiloh National Battlefield, one of the biggest Civil War battles. Here's a few of the pictures we took, but I'll make a separate video just of the trip to the battlefield we took, with more pictures and more videos. 100,000 soldiers on both sides fought, and nearly 24,000 casualties in the 2-day battle.